Oh, God.
The sound I heard was his cranium, his skull hitting the sidewalk.
Paramedics transported the 49-year-old to the hospital.
I don't care who it is. Nobody gets hurt at the hand of an officer when it's not warranted.
He's not responsive right now, bro. No, bro, look at him. He's not responsive right now, bro.
You're confusing me.
Stop talking, continue walking.
What's up, you guys? I wanted to do a little story here since these cops are going around slamming people on their faces and on their heads. This is coming out of Williams, Arizona. ABC 15 just recently did a video on it. Credit to ABC 15. They got some great reporters working over there. So this is Lieutenant Romero out of Williams Police Department. It turns out there was a gentleman here who had stolen a beer from the Circle K. Officers arrived. They started to arrest him. He was resisting arrest and therefore slammed on his head, causing severe damage. Two female officers that were present and attempted to fight for this person's rights. They're not all good because the women went to the family's home and told the family that he fell. So we know cops are liars. They were supposed to do a full internal investigation. Chief Tad Weigel just sent it over to Page Police Department in Arizona, and they investigated and found that there was no wrongdoing. The penalty for Romero slamming this guy to the ground was that he had to review the use of force policy. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get to the video. Appreciate y'all watching. Prayers and love to Carolina and Fort Worth. And fuck the police.
By a high-ranking lieutenant or appropriate actions against a man resisting arrest. The ABC 15 investigators spent months digging into the details of what happened in the small city of Williams.
Tonight, exclusive interviews with the man's family, two former officers involving concerning facts uncovered by ABC 15 investigator Jennifer Kowaleski. We do want to warn you, some of this video is graphic.
Is intoxicated and stumbling.
Not far from historic Route 66.
Brian, stay here with me.
Williams police arrested a man named Brian for allegedly stealing a $3 can of beer from this gas station.
Bring it back for me. Good job. Thank you, Brian.
This time, Circle K wanted to press charges.
Officer Nicole White made the arrest.
I'm gonna pat you down for weapons and contraband.
We're watching her body camera video.
I heard a noise that I've never heard before.
Brian, no.
Do it.
No. I'm
gonna have your.
Oh, God.
The sound I heard was his cranium, his skull hitting the sidewalk.
49-year-old Brian Lopez is in handcuffs up against the wall. Then out of nowhere, you can see a hand appear in the left corner of your screen. And Brian's taken to the ground in less than a second.
Oh, God. Could I get medics on scene to...
Look to my left and there's my lieutenant, Lieutenant Romero, and Brian is on the ground not breathing.
The guy on the video who grabs Brian is Lieutenant John Romero, an executive officer of the small police agency.
Brian, can you talk to me, bud?
I thought he had been killed at that moment.
Another officer on scene also voiced grave concerns. Paramedics transported the 49-year-old to the hospital with a serious head injury.
How would you describe the use of force by your lieutenant? I would describe it as violent. Brian didn't deserve that.
White still struggles to find the words to describe what happened that day and up until a few months ago.
And this is right after she arrives on scene.
Brian's family had never seen this video. We showed it to Kelly Brockett, Brian's stepdad, for the first time.
Man, he just came out of nowhere, didn't he?
What is your reaction to that?
I don't think there was any reason for him to come in and hit him like that.
Like so many battling mental illness, this wasn't the first time officers have arrested him.
He's usually not violent at all.
Which is why his family now questions what happened. And all of it over a $3 can of stolen beer.
Definitely was not reasonable force there. He was being belligerent, but he was doing what he was told to do.
Brian! Hey, buddy, are you awake?
Were you made aware of what happened on that body cam video?
No, we were not. We were just told he was handcuffed and fell backwards and hit his head, and that was it.
And here's another important fact. Officer White and another detective are the ones who went to Brian's parents' house the night he was injured. That interaction was also captured on body camera video.
Do you happen to be Brian Lopez's mom?
Yes, I am.
White says they went there because they were worried about Brian, and she now regrets not telling the family exactly what happened.
My lieutenant came on scene, and he was resisting a bit and fell down and had an accident, cut his head open pretty good.
To go in there and tell him that lieutenant did what he did out of anger. I can't do that. That is a superior officer, and I am bound by policy and procedure to stand by my department. That is a superior officer, and I am bound by policy and procedure to stand by my department. But I would give anything to go tell him what really happened.
But White says she immediately reported what she believed really happened to her supervisor.
Yes, it was definitely inappropriate use of force.
Sergeant Tracy Cooper was Nicole's supervisor and was also concerned by the actions of Lieutenant John Romero.
The next day, I spoke with my chief, and he said that it would be looked into.
According to internal records obtained by the ABC 15 investigators, Chief Tad Weigel did investigate the incident. He reviewed the video and written reports and found Romero's intervention was reasonable and appropriate. But those same documents show the chief never interviewed Officer White, who made the arrest, or any other witnesses.
There was no procedure followed, no interviews of witnesses.
I would say that was a failure of those agencies to thoroughly investigate.
Jeff Kirkheim spent years investigating police complaints for Apache Junction Police. We showed him the records we obtained in this case.
How would you describe what you've seen and read so far?
The females had it in hand, and I think he stepped in.
Kirkheim also says any proper investigation should have included interviews with everyone involved.
You simply can't look at a police report and look at a body cam and draw a 100% conclusion on what everything happened.
Which brings us to that police report. Lieutenant Romero justified his actions by saying Brian was resisting arrest. He claimed Brian's jacket slipped when he went to intervene, a story Brian's family also questions.
To me, that is fiction.
Did you see that in the video?
I did not see any of that.
Chief Weigel wrote Romero a letter of reprimand a month after the incident happened, ordering Romero to review the use of force policy.
That's very minimum what took place.
White and Cooper share the same concerns.
I'm floored. So you're telling me that he had to review the use of force policy, received no discipline for his actions. That's what you're telling me that says.
This one incident igniting a firestorm inside a small Arizona police department, revealing dysfunction and calls for more accountability.
A man got seriously hurt on my watch. I don't care who it is. Nobody gets hurt at the hand of an officer when it's not warranted.
We had questions for Williams Police Chief Tad Weigel. We called, emailed, and even visited the department. He declined our request for an on-camera interview. In a statement, he said the AZ Post review determined that there was no misconduct and the case was closed without action. AZ Post oversees police. The agency told us it asked Williams PD to conduct a full internal affairs investigation. Williams Police didn't do that. Instead, the chief sent it to Page Police for review. You should also know, Williams Police put Cooper and White on administrative leave less than 2 months after they raised these concerns. Both have since been terminated and filed appeals in court claiming retaliation.
Oh, God.
Yeah.